The Entrepreneurial Journey podcast. We're talking business and building a culture that's kick-ass. Where we make it happen, grab your seat, let's have a blast. At the Entrepreneurial Journey podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Entrepreneurial Journey. Today, I'm absolutely delighted to have Donna Wallace here with me. She is an energy healer and the founder and CEO of House of Orion. Hello, Donna. How are you?
Hello, I'm very well. Thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. Now, you're our first guest who is based in Australia, so you're very welcome.
I'm absolutely delighted to be your first Aussie.
Great. Amazing. Before we came on air, you were telling me about how you were driving home from dropping the kids off for swimming, and what did you see?
And I saw 3 kangaroos jumping on the side of the road. I mean,
Perfect.
you can't get any more Australian than that, can you?
No, you can't.
I do live in a little bit more regional area, I have to admit, but I'm not in the CBD or anything. But yes.
All right. I love it. Okay, so tell everybody what House of Orion does.
Okay, the House of Orion, we create jewellery. We use ethically sourced large coloured gemstones, and we create jewellery for your soul. So every piece of jewellery is custom made, and the gemstones that we use are energetically attuned to your soul to basically turn on your light, to enhance your radiance, for you to connect with the core essence of who you are. And my jewellery, literally helps your light turn on.
I love it. Because you approached me about coming on the podcast, and we're going to talk about that in a bit. So that's a whole rabbit hole we're going to go down.
Yes.
But when I was looking you up, you had me at jewelry, okay? Because
do you like jewelry?
Oh yeah, it's my weak spot. I love a bit of bling. I really like jewelry. I love when I save up and I buy pieces of gold jewelry, and I only ever buy 18 carat. And I have a ruby, my engagement ring. And my youngest daughter.
Oh, I could feel that when you held your hand up.
It's a cracker.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. And I have a sapphire, an emerald, a tourmaline. I have little diamonds around all of the bits and pieces that I've got. And I have a fascination with jewelry. So tell me about how
you're going for the full color spectrum rainbow, Rebecca.
Yeah, I am.
A ring on every finger and a ring on every toe.
Yeah. If I could, I would. I really would. So how did you get into this? It's not, the careers advisor at school definitely did not say, why don't you get into jewelry for the soul, Donna? So
I certainly didn't. And in all honesty, Rebecca, it completely took me by surprise too. I never in a million years thought that I would be creating jewelry and a business that does this. So do you want a little bit of a background of my history?
Please.
I was trained in horticulture. So I went to uni, have qualifications in horticulture, did that because I didn't know what else I wanted to do. And my parents wanted me to go to university. And then had some meaningless jobs for quite some time, trying to find my way, lost out in the world. And then found myself in working for one of the big 4 banks here in Australia in a specialised HR corporate role.
Okay.
And that was pretty amazing. I learned so much in that organisation. I had amazing managers. I had the opportunity to really understand how to connect with different people and manage stakeholders. And really part of my role was helping senior managers in that organisation understand their people and how to best manage them predominantly through problems, through people management issues, HR role, but also creating cultural change as well. So that was a pretty amazing leap point. And it was at the time when I have 2 children. We talked about this in lessons before. My oldest son I had when I was there working in corporate world, and then I had my daughter. And I always had this desire to do energy healing work. I'd been doing it since I was a teenager, and just always had it as a hobby business on the side, and never thought that I could actually make a career or an income actually from it. And after my daughter was born, I just had this real, like, an undeniable knowing that I had to be everything that I could be for her and for my son, and that I wanted to be the role model parent for them, not just telling them that you can do anything and you can be anything that you want to be, but also to have a parent who was living their dreams. And I knew that there was a part of me that felt dead inside, that was really unfulfilled and unhappy, because I knew, you know, I'd squash this dream and then come back up, and then I'd squash it again. And so when my daughter was born, I just had this real, like, fire in my belly ignite, and decided to give my healing business a go. And with that, the official opening of my business, I just had people just flocked to me. I was so busy, and I quickly became booked out months in advance, and that healing work was incredible. And so when I talk about energy healing work, I'm talking about a variety of modalities, from Reiki to holistic counseling to family constellation therapy, all sorts of different things. You know, teaching people how to use their intuition and all sorts of things. And so, yeah, then I had this beautiful business that I grew out of that time. And I always thought that that's what I would do. I thought that I'd found my lot in life, Rebecca. I thought that this was just like the bee's knees. I couldn't imagine doing anything else in the whole wide world. And yeah, so around the time of the pandemic, in the middle of that, my family moved from the closer to the in the inner suburbs of Melbourne down to the beach. And it was after we moved down here that I had this divine download come in of this new business that has since now grown into what the House of Orion is.
Wow.
So can I share a little bit about that
Please.
divine download?
Yeah, because that was going to be my next question. What on earth is a divine download?
What is a divine download?
Yeah.
I call it that because it was this idea that seemingly came out of nowhere.
Okay.
Like it was definitely, you know, came through my intuition. So that's what I would consider a divine download to be. And my business, my energy healing business, was really grown from me following my intuition. Yes, I tried on different business strategies, and I employed business coaches and did lots of different things, but ultimately this path for me, this entrepreneurial journey for me, is one of following my intuition. Anyway, I digress. So I had this feeling like something wanted to come through, a new course. I didn't know if it was, you know, something in the same vein as what I'd already done. I'd run retreats overseas and interstate here in Australia. I'd run really big programs for my customers, and big programs and little programs and topics and all sorts of things. And then, so I had this feeling like there was something that wanted to come through. Okay. And this is what happened. So I had a session with my mentor, and she basically took me into this guided meditation process. And one of the questions,
hang on, we're back on. I paused it a bit because we lost you. Carry on.
So I was in this guided meditation process with my mentor, my coach at the time. She still is. And as I was delving into that space with her, she asked a question, and the question was, what does your business want to sell? And before I could even think about it, so hang on, let me reframe this a little bit, because I know that I'm on the outskirts of like what's normal in these
Yeah,
sort of business
that's okay.
conversations. Let me explain this a little bit more. So the way that I operate in my business, as I said, is by following my intuition. But I also believe our businesses have their own soul.
Yeah.
I believe that they have their own intention, that they want to grow in a particular way. They want to serve the world in a particular way,
Yeah.
that they want to serve us as business owners in particular ways.
Yeah.
And so in this session with my mentor, I was connecting with the soul of my business, and it said to me that it wanted to sell products.
Okay.
And I was completely taken aback, Rebecca, because as I said to you, I felt that I'd found my lot in life doing energy work and just offering services. You know, I'd come across so many different products that people tried to get me on board with their MLMs to sell, and it was always a no. And then this came through and I was completely taken aback and flabbergasted. And that's how I knew that it was my intuition, because I would never have said that in a million years.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
And
you
then,
see, I was going to say that when I'm training our coaches and consultants, I taught to them about treating the business as a human being, as an entity, and actually the leaders and the customers interact with that entity. Yes. And I taught to them about the business having needs, wants, and desires in the same way that people have needs, wants, and desires. And when those are aligned with the people that interact with the business, amazing things start to happen.
Yes.
And
yes.
I had never
I'd
never taken it to the step that the business has a soul, but that's the natural progression, isn't it? I guess in our business, we call it the culture.
Yes.
And it's the same thing. It's just using slightly different words. And when I use our language with our consultants and coaches and our clients, they get it. If I turned up and started talking about the soul of the business from the outset, they'd probably think, who is this woman? But when we get into it, I don't, once they get to know and like me and our coaches and consultants, I'm sure that word would come up. So I totally get it, Donna. Yeah, carry on.
Oh, I love that you get it and that you have your own language around this as well.
Yeah.
For me, the soul of my business is an intelligent being that is beyond my intelligence.
Yeah,
totally. It's beyond what I can mentally construct myself. And so my job really is to get out of my own way and not doubt the intuition that comes through, and really listen and tune in. How is it that this business wants me to grow it? How does it want me to serve people in the world? What can I do to get my own, things, personal, like limiting beliefs and all these different things out of the way so I can best be of service?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, much of our coaching and work with clients is to get them out of their own heads, which is the same as getting them out the way of themselves, definitely, and to leave your ego at the door. Because that's the biggest thing that gets in the way of progress often, and all kinds of things. So I completely understand and get where you're coming from. And you're right, you have to shape your business so it serves you as well as you serving it. And you also have to think about who your business serves. So I'm loving all this. We're on the same level, and I never thought you'd say any of this, right? Okay.
Well, that's the beauty of these kinds of conversations without having planned out our interview, isn't it? I feel that the other aspect to the soul of my business that perhaps we haven't spoken about is that the soul of my business wants something really amazing for me personally.
Okay.
It wants something very special for me. And it wants to give me a lot. It wants to give me experiences that I haven't had before. And it wants me to have a life of joy and this sense of expansion that I didn't have before. And so each of the souls of our business want different things. The soul of my business will want something different than what yours wants for you. It's unique, just like we're unique soulful beings too.
Yeah, definitely. Amazing. So what happens with the actual jewelry? Tell me about the product.
Okay, great. So maybe I'll share a little about, how the concept dropped in, and that will also tell you what it is, because I've brought it into real life. When I first of all, I looked down on my hand, and this was part of these visions that I was getting one after the other. And I looked down on my hand, just like I'm looking down at my hand now, and I saw myself wearing an aquamarine on my finger. And that was and I didn't realize at the beginning that it was wanting me to create jewelry. But then I saw other things, like I saw, separate from me, a different vision. I saw a hand and a ring slide onto that person's finger. And then I saw energy, like electrical currents, like running up that person's arm and through their chest. And then their aura, their energy field, like turning on like the brightest light. And I thought, oh my goodness, what is this? Like, can you actually do that? And then, so the product itself is a very bespoke process as well as a product. Okay. So when people come to me, I take them through this really deep process, like a guided meditation, to connect with their soul, because some people have done that before, some people haven't. And also probably people haven't done it in the way that I facilitate it with them. That's not an ego thing. It just is what it is. I take people through this process to really understand who they are at that core level, and how it is that their soul wants to grow, and what their soul wants them to experience in their life. And then in that session, they will have their own, inverted commas, divine download of that piece of jewelry. Like, what color gemstone? Is it a ring? Is it a pendant? What is it? And then after that session, I go off and intuitively choose gemstones that matches that energetic, emotional experience of how they see themselves, their soul. And so that's such a fun process, actually, Rebecca, because I bring people stones, and I do it either online or in person, but I bring people stones and they're like, that one's pretty, Donna. Oh, that one's nice. Oh, no, not that one. And then they're like, what's that? That's making me feel something.
They do.
And people, and so this is why I call them soulmate stones, because I believe that they are a match, like a soulmate match. And then we go through a beautiful design process where you can choose to have them made and set in not whatever way that you want, because there needs to be some constraints around what works from a functional perspective. But really my aim is for all of my customers to have this jewelry that completely enhances their life, that changes their life, and in the best possible way, that acts as a North Star, like a guiding light for people in their lives to just be walking that path of their soul and their hearts and following their intuition like that. Wow. So I see that jewelry acts as a North Star. And then, of course...
I was going to say, what kind of transformations have you witnessed with your clients?
Oh, that is such a great question. I have witnessed lots of beautiful transformation, and it's very different for each of my customers. Yeah. So one customer that I can think of, how do I say this? She met herself in a new way through her piece of jewelry. She realized that actually who she is the embodiment of love. And this was a concept that was kind of like a theoretical concept before. And then she actually owned it. It was like she stepped into this expression of herself as pink, of love, as motherly love, as the divine feminine, as her heart just opened and bloomed and blossomed. And it was like the light turned on in her. And the way that her life has changed has been going through these beautiful, like, path of really discovering what true unconditional love is.
Wow. Wow, that's lovely. And
so that is just one of my customers. But
yeah, such a privilege to be able to facilitate and guide somebody to that path.
yes.
And
it's also,
that's
I'm sorry.
No, you go on.
It's also a real privilege to see people like this, Rebecca, because I get that to have the most beautiful experiences with people as they truly meet themselves. So that means that I get to witness that, and I get to witness them in all their glory and beauty. And I never ever take that for granted. It's so special.
It is.
And sometimes, yeah.
It's wonderful. I think I've interviewed so many different sorts of coaches, healers. Yesterday I interviewed somebody who's an astrologist and a medium who's bringing that to coaching and transformation. And my background's NLP, and people meditate, people use mindfulness. There's all kinds of ways to do this. And I think people are drawn to the thing that they're open to, which is fabulous. And then the vehicle that they choose to find that transformation is, it speaks to them in some way. So that transformation becomes easier, would you say? Sort of, I'm kind of harking back to traditionally people say therapy and change is difficult and takes ages. But actually, when you use these other vehicles, it's really wonderful and actually is quite quick.
Yes, Rebecca. Yes. Yeah. I actually, if we weren't on a recording, I would be squealing and jumping up and down with excitement, because that is my mission has been for over the more than 25 years that I've been doing energy healing work, is to find the most effective and most efficient modalities for people, because, well, actually I did that out of necessity. I needed it for myself personally. But now I believe that we can have healing and deep healing and phenomenal growth and transformation through things that aren't hard, without having to do shadow work and without having to do all the counseling. And yes, sometimes there is a need for, healing things from the past, and that's why I still do energy healing work. But I also believe that we can reprogram ourselves using the light. And in this case, that's why I call the gemstones North Stars, because let's reprogram you to your essence, your soul, to the highest aspect of you, the most intelligent, most wise part of you, the most fully expressed part of you, the part of you that feels like truly you. So let's use the most beautiful jewelry in the whole world. I mean, I'm a little bit biased.
Yes, yeah, of course.
But let's use the most beautiful jewelry to do that. Why can't we have the best of both worlds of high quality jewelry? So all of our jewelry is handmade by my jeweler, who's got over 30 years experience. He's also in Melbourne. It's all handmade. It's made in platinum and yellow gold and pink gold. And it's made to last lifetimes and be heirloom jewelry that's passed down, generation to generation. So why can't we have the best of both worlds? Why can't we have beautiful quality jewelry that is just the most stunning thing you've ever seen, and it be like magic, it turns your light on. Why can't
definitely.
we have
I agree. There's no reason it doesn't, that work, that healing work definitely can be really easy. And as I say, my vehicle is NLP, and I've seen people transform within half an hour to an hour, and it's permanent, and their life's changed, and they have fun while we're doing it. Sometimes there are some tears, but often it's tears of relief that they finally let go of something that they've been carrying around quite often for decades. And they have more energy, because when you carry stuff around for that length of time, it's exhausting.
It is.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful work. So are your clients all over the world, Donna?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they are now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got clients in Australia, and I have now got clients in Spain and England and America. And
Wow.
so, yeah.
Now, we were going to talk about, and we are going to talk about how you found me. And this is for all those people out there going, well, where are my audience? How do I connect with them? I've got this amazing, coaching, consulting, whatever it is, whether it's business, personal, whatever it is. So how did you track me down? Because it's a rabbit hole.
It truly is a rabbit hole. And if I'm perfectly honest, I'm just going to wait to make sure
Yep, you're still here.
I've got you. It is a rabbit hole. And if I'm perfectly honest, I don't even know which twists and turns I took to get to you. But I do know this, that I would have found you through listening to interviews that I would have been there would have been like a person that I was listening to. And then I Google searched that name because I was like really curious about that person, and then listened to like the podcast that they've been interviewed on. So, and then sometimes I also find podcasts by recommendations. So,
Right.
And a lot of the times the recommendations are not through my friends, which you might imagine they would be. But I'm a part of a few different Facebook groups for business.
Okay.
And oftentimes people share podcasts in those Facebook groups. And every time they do, I'm like, oh, I wonder what I can listen to now. And like the most amazing thing is, Rebecca, I just actually had no idea that there was so many.
Hang on. We're back now. We're back.
So I had no idea of all of the amazing podcasts out there, but then also just some fascinating conversations.
Yeah.
And truly, Rebecca, like even us talking now, I'm so delighted, so genuinely delighted to connect with you and meet with you, because it feels like meeting a like-minded soul. I've met the most amazing people through being interviewed on podcasts.
Okay, Donna, you're going to have to say that last bit again.
So I have been absolutely amazed by who I've met through podcasts, and just like meeting you today, Rebecca, it's such a delight to talk to you and to connect with you. I feel like I've met a like-minded soul in you, and that there's a lovely, beautiful, genuine connection between the two of us. I've met the most amazing, interesting people.
The piece of internet elastic that stretches from the UK to Australia is clearly stretched to its absolute limit. But you're right. I mean, the essence of what you're saying there, Donna, is that podcasts are a really great way to unite people. And actually, when podcasts go out there, they're out there forever.
Yes.
And they're on all the major platforms, and you never know who is going to listen, and it might be years later that they listen. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just like the proof is in the pudding. Even me coming on your show today is the first, I'm over here in Melbourne listening to your podcast, and which is just so wonderful, right? That yes, it's just so wonderful. And also, even being interviewed on podcasts, I've met people like listeners, people listening to the episodes have contacted me, and I've had the most incredible interactions and connections with people.
That's wonderful. It is really good. Yeah. So here's my last question, and this one should be easy for you, Donna. But let's see. If your business had a character or personality, how would you describe it?
I would describe it as a sparkling, the most beautiful gemstone you've ever seen in your whole life, with just twinkles all over it, reflecting light, and the most incredible color like streaming out of it when the light hits it.
Amazing.
But it also is going to be a dancing gemstone, because that feels like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it does. And what's your favorite gemstone?
My favorite gemstone has to be an aquamarine, like my ring. It to me, aquamarines, they are a stone of the ocean. I'm very connected with the oceanic energies, and I'm a water baby. I sometimes call myself a mermaid. Joking. And my daughter certainly is a mermaid. But it's much more than that to me. The turquoise color that's in an aquamarine is really about walking an individual path, doing things a little bit differently from other people, really becoming who we fully are on this journey. So
the aquamarine is the one for you.
Yeah, for me, the turquoise color of that aquamarine is really about the process of individuation. It's about becoming who I truly am as a unique individual, and how I creatively express myself from my heart on my soul's path, and doing something that's kind of different and unique, but also playful, and like the dolphin energy, playful, just playing for the sake of it, but also connected to community and being of service in the world. So for me, the aquamarine represents that. It also has me connected into, the Atlantis energies, of course, all the gemstones, and the power of gemstones as energy sources. But actually, to me, the color, it makes my heart sing. And yeah, so
it is. It really is beautiful. That is amazing, Donna. I love what you're doing. I love. Do you know where you're taking the business? Is that something that's you can foresee, or are you just kind of going with wherever your intuition takes you?
Well, a bit of both.
Okay.
When I first had the vision of the business come in, what I saw was that I was creating lots of pieces of jewelry, and they were going out to all different parts around the world. And part of that vision also is that I want to create the world's largest crystal grid using our jewelry. So each piece of jewelry acts as an anchor point around the earth for an energetic grid that I've set up. And my customers get to come into complimentary calls with me every 6 months. And we do this beautiful energy work around this crystalline energetic grid that I've created.
Amazing.
So that is really to support the planet, and to bring peace to Mother Earth and all of her inhabitants, and help all of the growth and ascension of the planet and everyone on it. So it has a bigger mission for me as well. So that's where what I see happening, and is already happening, beginning to happen. And at the same time, where do I see it going? I'm also like, I have that vision, and then I'm also like, I'll just, take one step after another and see what happens.
Yeah, you have to have a bit of both. That's amazing. I wish you all the luck in the world, Donna. I think what you're doing is truly beautiful in the real sense of the word and the spiritual sense of the word. So keep doing it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Actually, there's something I would love to give to your listeners, if that's okay.
Go for it. I nearly stopped the recording then. Quick, get it in, Donna.
One of the things that I love offering to people are energy readings. And I'd love to offer your listeners 10-minute free energy readings.
Wow.
And what I do is I read your energy field, your aura, and I tell you what colors I can see in it, and what they all mean for you. You know how I said a little bit before about the turquoise and what that means to me with the aquamarine. So I read the colors of your energy field and let you know what I see, and that's a really beautiful process just in and of itself. And then I also try on different gemstones in your energy field by visualizing different gemstones and seeing what could be the perfect match for you as a gemstone if you were to make a piece of jewelry with me.
Oh, that's amazing. Right. I'm going to put that in. Now, I'm going to have to take you up on that offer, Donna, as well. and book myself in for my...
I would love to do that. I would love to do that for you.
Oh, that's great. I guess, do I go on your website and...
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do that, book myself in, and I'll report back to our listeners.
Wonderful.
That's brilliant. That's amazing. Right, now I'm going to stop the recording.
Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. I wanted to record this straight away. You've listened to my interview with Donna Wallace of House of Orion. Well, she was very kind and gave me a free energy reading straight after we recorded the podcast. We've saved that up, and I want you to listen to that next week because it really is spookily accurate. And I'm now going to go away and really kind of filter through what that energy reading told me, what we talked about, and what we talked about when I came off that energy reading. It was absolutely incredible. So tune in for the next episode and find out what Donna said to me. See you then. Thanks for listening, everybody. Did you know at TriCrest, we've built a kick-ass culture, coach and consultant program. So if you're a business coach or consultant and you're looking for something new, add to your toolbox, or even escape the 9-to-5, join us at our next event. Links in the information on the podcast. See you there.
The Entrepreneurial Journey Podcast. We're talking business and building a culture that's